Now next we're going to have Tim Wilson going to give a speech. And if you ever given a speech and felt disconnected from your audience, you know how frustrated it can be as you feel yourself and the audience moving further and further apart with every word you say. Our next speaker has also experienced this audience disconnect and has spent his time inside and outside of Toastmasters, learning how to bring the speakers and their audience together. From working in person with his Toastmasters mentors and studying the materials of his visual professional speakers mentors, he has come to realize the speaking secret, which the great speakers already know. Today, you will discover that speaking secret, learn about Toastmasters trap, and how to avoid it. Come to a new understanding of the Toastmasters program. You will walk out of here today with tools you can use to connect with any audience, anytime, anywhere, anywhen. And now please join me in welcoming our next speaker, Tim Wilson.
Do you remember your icebreaker speech? First time you gave it? Remember that? If you're new to Toastmasters, the icebreaker speech is the very first speech you give. And the instructions of the icebreaker speech literally are, tell me about yourself. That's what you're asked to do. Just tell me about yourself. And as you go through the icebreaker speech, you get some feedback, some ideas, but most importantly, you're supported, you're encouraged, and basically you finish and you say, good job, keep up the good work, keep on going, you're doing fine. Remember that speech? How you felt afterwards? Uplifted, excited about Toastmasters? Well, my first icebreaker speech wasn't quite like that. I had come to a club because there was a good speaker in it. His name was Mike, brown-haired guy, medium height, most importantly, a really good speaker, and I wanted to learn from him. So, went through, I gave the speech, and another evaluator came up, wasn't mine. Said, here's some strengths, areas of improvement, just keep up the good work. But I really wanted to get what Mike had to say. He's a really good speaker, and I wanted to find out what he had to say. So afterwards, after the whole meeting was over, I went over. I said to Mike, Mike, what do you think about my speech? And Mike said, that was okay. And I said, no, Mike, what did you think about my speech? And Mike said something I always remember, changed my life, changed my awareness of Toastmasters, changed how I approach speaking. He said, Tim, you were okay out there. It's a pretty good speech. But the thing is, all you did was you talked about yourself. Now that's okay for now. But if you're going to develop and grow and build as a speaker, you're going to need to move away from that sometime. And my reaction was, I thought, what does he mean? That's what I'm supposed to do. That's what Toastmasters told me to do. That was the objective of the icebreaker. Go up there, talk about yourself. I've got the manuals in the manual right there. Go up, talk about yourself. I did it. What's the problem? Why are they getting on me about this? This is ridiculous. This isn't encouraging at all. So I asked Mike a little bit more about what he meant, why he said that. And he told me some things, and that made me take a look at other things. Took a look at world champion speakers. People have gone all the way through Toastmasters and won the world championship of public speaking. If you don't know, that means that they went through all these levels of international contests, and they're the best speakers in the entire Toastmasters world for that year. These people. And I looked at professional speakers. And I discovered that they did things differently from Toastmasters. The Toastmasters kind of went one way, and these professional speakers, these serious speakers, these speakers who really wanted to develop and grow, these speakers who were getting $5,000, $6,000, $10,000, $30,000, $20,000 a speech, did things differently. And that was when I learned about the Toastmasters trap. There's a Toastmasters trap out there. And everything in Toastmasters kind of gets you trying to do things a certain way that's guaranteed to disconnect you from your audience, guaranteed to separate you from your audience, guaranteed to keep you and the audience far apart. Now in Toastmasters, it's not a problem because everybody kind of understands that's the way things are done and they consider it perfectly natural. Outside of Toastmasters, audiences aren't going to be as forgiving. And if you do have that desire to go through and develop outside of Toastmasters, it's important to avoid the Toastmasters trap. These people in Toastmasters have been able to avoid the Toastmasters trap by thinking differently. And I discovered that there was this whole different way to think about things, a whole different way to understand things. Now, before I go any further, just want to make sure, is it okay to speak outside the Toastmasters box?
Sure, of course.
Because everything in Toastmasters is kind of supposed to fit into this little box of here's how you're supposed to think. And I want to think outside of it, where I've learned the professional speakers think. Is that okay? Is that all right? Okay. Good. Because today, you will discover what the Toastmasters trap is. You will learn what not to do and what to do. You'll learn the difference of what the Toastmasters does versus what the world champion speakers, versus what the professional speakers do. You'll discover the ABCs of a speech. You'll learn tools that will help you connect in deeper, stronger, faster, better with the audience than you ever thought possible, just by making a few simple changes. You will learn the one word every speaker needs to know if they're going to connect with their audience. The one word that's used very seldom in Toastmasters and really needs to be used much more often. The word professional speakers use routinely to make that audience connection. You'll walk out of here today with tools that help you build, develop, and grow as a speaker. So now, let me talk about, before I get into talking about table topics. So I'm going to talk about table topics, talk about evaluations, talk about speeches in a completely new way. What you should be focusing on and avoiding the Toastmasters trap. But before I get to talking about table topics, let me tell you about the ABCs of a speech. Madam Toastmaster.